God, it's almost time. 18 seconds. Idea what we're going to do today. It's been a very, very busy week. You folks have made it a very, very busy week. 2, 1. Fair enough. Here I am. Let me turn this music down. Hi, everybody. Welcome to CraftHole. Today on CraftHole, Elizabeth McInnes will stop by and teach us about trapping lizards in our backyards. And then Winter's Eve 86 with a report on splinting your broken toe. That's all today and more on CraftHole. How is everybody? Happy Thursday to you. Yeah, it has been a super busy week because last weekend we released the Blue Box double boxed set of yarns through Boss Kitty. We released them to patrons on Saturday night, and then they went live to the public on Monday, and my phone's still dinging. Still selling. So we put a cap at the number that we're going to make. We've limited it to 50 sets, so 50 of each set, and we're rapidly approaching that, so I recommend that you get in if you haven't gotten in already and pick these up. Plus, while I'm on the subject, let's talk, and then we'll talk about it later as well. Let's talk a little bit about the subscriber giveaway, the Boss Kitty Live channel subscriber giveaway. So that's CraftHole and Boss Kitty Live for the month of June. So the first week of July, we will be giving away something to anyone that is a subscriber in the month of June and who goes to any of the VODs, CraftHole or Boss Kitty Live, that are posted in the month of June and leaves a comment. You'll get one entry into the drawing for the subscriber giveaway for one of the 2 box sets. So you can make your choice. You can take the Lords of Time box set, inspired by our favorite doctors, or you can take the Enemies and Allies set, which is companions, enemies, all sorts of very colorful, fun things. Now, here's the deal. If in the month of June we are able to get 1,000 subscribers and maintain that number going into July to the giveaway, the winner of the June subscriber giveaway will win both sets. It's 10 skeins of yarn, $300 worth of limited edition colorways. That is just if we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark in June and we maintain it before we give the giveaway, then both sets are going to one person. We're not going to give away 2 sets, one to each. 2 sets, 1 subscriber. If you would like an additional entry this month only into this subscriber giveaway, when you post your comment on the VOD for the month of June, whether it's 1 or more, tag someone in your circle of friends. Tag somebody. You can tag them on our, if you can't tag them on our VOD, comment on the VOD, go to our Instagram. Tag them on the Instagram. If they don't have an Instagram but they got a Facebook, comment on the VOD, go to your Facebook, tag them on, find our posts, find a Boss Kitty post for that and tag them, and we'll give you an additional entry for the subscriber giveaway for June. So the first week of July, we'll do that for the month of June. We'll talk about that later. Let me catch up on a little bit of chat this morning. Happy Thursday, indeed, Winter's Eve. Carrying on. How are you today? I'm glad that you got a little break. You can spend at least a little bit of time to go. Elizabeth McInnes, 40 to go. Yeah, 40 is all we need in order to. It was down to like 36, but 40, we'll take it. Definitely possible. So yeah, if you Instagram or Facebook, if you want to tag somebody through there, just find the Boss Kitty post about the giveaway, and I think she posted a couple this morning, and start tagging people, and that gets you an additional entry. Today, what are we going to do today? Let's switch to this camera. We are going to go back to this. This is how busy this week is. I have wanted to come in and do more to this in between shows. I've wanted to. It's been a goal. I'm like, it's just really calm. I'll just sit down one night, put a movie on. Pardon me. Put a movie on my phone over here and paint one. I haven't had a chance, so we'll paint some more on our color shifted. What we call our cross processed paint by number. We'll do a little bit of that. I did bring the felting kit if we want to do a little felting today. I also brought a couple of kits we might crack open because I have not had an opportunity to plan this week at all. We have a needle felting kit for the Rainbow of Hope, and I think we'll probably break that one out. Our other one was from the Girl Scout troop, the Creative Girls Club hoop art. That'd be fun. Probably end up doing this one though a little bit today. In fact, we might even start with it just to get some stuff done. I've been doing a lot of painting and borrowing cups from my kitchen, which I don't like, but I got last year. I got BK for, I don't know, Christmas present, birthday present, something. Among other things, I got her a brush puck. I don't know if you've ever seen a brush puck. Let me go back here real quick. If you've never seen a brush puck, they're cheap. And by cheap, I mean inexpensive. They're actually well built. This one, some of the silicone, see it here, some of the silicone slid a little bit, so you can get your finger under there and pop those things off if you need to. They're washable. The underside, and I'll show you there. Oops, I gotta go pick that up. The underside's got these little bristles in here, so that when you, or these little nubbins, so when you stick your brush in, you can run them across these little nubbins and break some of the paint up. Bring it out here on the sides and the silicone if you want to store your brush. There's a ton of, just a ton of brush holders of different shapes and sizes. So the brush puck, I don't know, 13 bucks, 15 bucks, something like that. Hang on one second. I knocked my entire stream deck off. I don't know, I guess maybe I pushed too hard today. Let's just set it right there. I've lost the stand. The cable has somehow gotten tangled on something. So, there. I'm just going to do it this way for now. You all don't need to worry about that. Yeah, so we'll do some painting today. Again, if you've never been to CraftHole before, the idea isn't that you do what I do or that you necessarily learn anything. You will from time to time learn something. Switch that. You will from time to time learn something because inevitably we'll do something you've never done before. Feel free to ask questions. The idea that is that Tuesdays and Thursdays, this is just kind of a time to stop in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, slow down. If you're, if you got an opportunity, if you're homesick or you're just home, you're retired, whatever, you can craft and do your own craft. Send me some photos of those things. I'd love to share them. Or not craft. You can just hang out and listen to us and chat with us and have a good time. It's kind of low-key. All right, it's very low-key. Sometimes it's a little hyper. But I haven't had enough coffee. As a matter of fact, I hope, I know BK's not listening. I was going to say I hope BK's listening because I sure could use some of that coffee that's brewing in the other room. I'm going to set my stand back up here real quick. Sorry, folks. But I can't use my stream deck unless I can see it. There we go. Now I've got it. Terrific. All right. So now that I've done that, let's just start with a little quiet meditation. In through the nose. 3 times to start. In through the nose. Up slowly through the mouth. Last time, here we go. Hold it for a little bit. There you go. Okay. Feel better? I feel better. All right, so let's get this day started. Let's, oh, before there's so many things I wanted to talk about. Do not forget, I brought this with me too. Do not forget that our friend, pardon me, our friend Laura Bronner bought us here at CraftHole. And by us, I mean all of us. CraftHolians? What would you like to be called? Are you CraftHolians? Bedazzler. Are you familiar with the Bedazzler? Is that a thing of, is that like a 70s, 80s thing that no one remembers anymore. I'm sure they still, they obviously still sell bedazzlers because Laura Bronner sent us one. Let's check a look here at chat. I'm still not very good at this. Little's just cutting teeth, being fussy. Oh, that's a rough one. Cutting teeth is rough. Yeah, you get, you get a little fever. There's all sorts of stuff that comes with cutting teeth. And then one day they all fall out. But you got some decades before that happens. I'm waiting for your terracotta sealer to dry so you can paint your new planters. Going to be Mackenzie Childs inspired. All right, here we go. Mackenzie Childs. I am not familiar. Let's do it. Mackenzie Childs. We'll do that, and then we'll pop up send. And, okay, Mackenzie Childs. I'm going to assume that that's what this is here. It's collections. Let's flower mark. Is this it? You're doing. Wait a minute. CraftHolers is pretty good too. Pink planters, Mackenzie Childs inspired. So let's see if they actually have planters. Because I'm assuming that that's probably what you are. Outdoor. Here we go. Outdoor decor, pots and planters. Oh, these are cute. Oh, I'm familiar with things like this. I've seen this before. These are really nice. Stripes, polka dots, all that stuff is stuff that BK loves. So there's going to be plenty of that in the garden out back. These look like things that you could get, and I don't mean this to diminish how cute these are. These look like things you could get at a home goods store. I don't know if anybody has home goods. Well, maybe that's a West Coast thing. I'm not sure. I like the checkerboard chicken. All right, I want a checkerboard chicken. I'm going to have to remember that. Go back and order a checkerboard chicken. This is what the bedazzler comes with. Always wanted one. Your mom rightly refused to indulge your middle school. CraftHolers. All right, CraftHolers it is then. CraftHolians is a little out there. All right, let's find out what the bedazzler does. I don't have anything to bedazzle, but if we look it over today, then we'll pick it back up on Tuesday, and we'll bedazzle something. What are these things? That's what I'd like to know. This is in French. That's not going to help me. That's in Spanish. That can only help me un poquito. Let's see. That is also in French and also in Spanish. So wait a minute. I got 6 more of these. Inglés. Here we go. This includes the bedazzler. 50 clear rhinestones. I'm going to say these are 50 clear rhinestones. So they got a clear resin coat in colors over their metal backing, so they're shiny. 50 assorted colored rhinestones. Oh wait, maybe these are the... No, I'm sorry. These are the clear rhinestones. That's weird. They call them clear, but they're actually just little metal pieces. These are the colored rhinestones. No, these are the studs. All right, so what am I missing? Unless this is 100 rhinestones. Do you think that's 100 rhinestones and not 50? I don't think it is. All right, maybe we're missing something. 15 bedazzler patterns. Check this out. Word, what's on this? Okay. I'm not sure why they're printed backwards unless they want you to steam them onto something and use them. That would be my guess. That you probably just cut out the pattern you want, lay it down, and iron it on the surface, but I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But there's an owl, and a flower, and a heart, and a bird, and an anchor. I'm good at reading backwards. My savant talents. All right, so we got those. That's a check on the checklist. What else? A stud stuffer tool. This might be a stud stuffer tool. I don't know. Yes, this is a stud stuffer tool. And I've got different ones for different sizes and different functions. Does that make sense? And there's already one installed on the bedazzler. Plungers. Finding plungers. It's a different it's a different craft kit. Oh wait, I got stuff in the box. Hang on. Oh, here are my clear rhinestones. But I don't know what or where the plungers are, so maybe they're part of the stud stuffer tool. And then there's this thing, and this is... Oh wait, no, this is the stud stuffer tool. I guess it actually... This? How does that go? That goes up in the plunger, I'm assuming? Anyway, we got the stuff. I got all the stuff. Close enough. One way or the other, close enough. We're going to get this bedazzler out on Tuesday. Maybe I'll go to Goodwill. You know what I promised Laura Bronner that I would do if she bought us a bedazzler was to get a pair of booty shorts and bedazzle Craft Daddy on the back of them. And seeing as Pride Week's coming up, it might be our Pride Week project is a Craft Daddy pair of booty shorts. Get folks parade ready. Let's see. Yeah, the chicken was great, Earthy Gal. The checkerboard chicken, I wanted it. They match my old Vans. You should read each paragraph of the instructions in a different language and see how that goes. Eska? That's the kind of thing I like. That's throttling up a craft, and I'm all for it. Stud stuffer. That was my summer job out of high school. That was my summer job. All right, so we got those done. Let's go ahead and pop this thing out. Actually, you know, before we do, it's gonna be the title of my autobiography. You know, before we go any further, call BK and get some coffee. Yeah, no problem. Bye. I caught her in the bathroom. I'm going to get some coffee soon. And a stern look. So this kit comes with combed fiber. Looks like it's set here, easy to separate. That's nice. Wrapped in a nice piece of felt. I like it. Keep it from felting on itself, I'm sure. The Rainbow of Hope. I got a hoop. It's a hoop felting kit. Oh, this is the backing. That, of course, makes sense. What's in the bag? So this is the foam, plastic foam they give you to jab your needles into. And I don't care for it. It's a little too porous. It is extruded plastic bubbles, so when you go in, you're just poking them, and I don't know. It's not for me. So I'm going to upgrade to my own felting block. I prefer it. It's got the density and texture of a floral foam, but it's not. It's squishier. It will come back into shape. It's stiff, though. They gave us some thread. Uh-oh, I say, because I'm terrible with needles. I still didn't bring finger protection. So let's see if I stab myself today. You guys might learn all new curse words, because I've got some great ones. I got a couple that come from the 1800s that I haven't used nearly enough. And these are the tools that will get me to use them. Stabby, stabby. These are all the same size, so I'm just going to put 2 of them back. Lower my opportunity to get stabbed by 2/3. Let's find some instructions. Hi. We're doing the rainbow. Thank you, I appreciate it. I stole your project. Oh, I feel bad now. This thing was just sitting around. I didn't know BK had bought it for herself. Oh, well. Instructions. You'll need something round to draw around to create the shape of the rainbow. I'm a freehander. I don't need your little props to draw a curve. I got this shit. Plastic milk bottle lid is just the right size. Forget it. Place the lid in the middle of white felt. You know what? I'm skipping instruction number 1. It's off. It's down to me. Begin with the indigo felt. And then here's your instructions here. That's drawing your little thing. Screw that. I got this. Begin with the indigo felt. Pull a small piece of felt from the main piece along the length of the fibers. Position it on the pencil drawing and keep it nice and tight as you felt it into place working on the foam mat. So let's just start there. We're going to start by placing. Well, first off, we're going to start by getting this goddamn needle out of my mouth because I will somehow stab myself in the eye. Let's go ahead and put this in the embroidery hoop. Do they say to put it in the embroidery hoop yet? No, they don't. They just say do it flat, so we're just going to do it flat. Hopefully, we can find the center of this thing, right? Let's go corner to corner. Let's actually find the center. Corner both ways. Put a crease in it. There we go. That's like the GED of folds. Close enough. We're going to get exact. We're going to get it exactly what we need, right? There's a big old crease there. Yeah, this thing isn't cut perfectly square, so. There we go. Dead center right there. That is the middle of our project, and that's where we'll start. So, I'm supposed to get a pencil. I don't know if I have a pencil. I was given a pen. All right, let's do this. Let me look at this one more time and see where they want me to position this. There's the center, so I need to start here and do an arch here. Yeah, that seems right. So I'm going to do it with this Sharpie. All right, here's my center. I'm going to mark out for my center, I don't know, let's say an inch on either side. What do you say? We'll do an inch, maybe a little more. Oh, there we go. Maybe a little more than an inch. My big fat head. That. Let's bring the apex of it to here's center. Come up here, we'll bring the apex to here. Okay. Now I can freehand my curve. Again, close enough is still a finished craft. You've still accomplished something. Fabric pen? Come on. Do I look like a professional? No, you're lucky I'm not doing all my crafts with pliers because I got plenty of those. No, it's just a Sharpie. Little fine tip. Okay, here we go. Three-handed curve. Close enough, right? Let's do it. We're using it. Throw it up on the block. We'll get ready to do some felting. This is actually off a little bit, so let me come around here, fix it. Yeah, needed to be a little tighter coming in. There we go. Indigo. Let's pull the indigo off. Separate it. We'll just pull off. I don't know. I look at the instructions. They pull off a little hank, nothing big. So let's go with yeah, let's go with this right here. There we go. This is the stuff. Lay out on the line and start our rainbow. Let's stretch those fibers a little bit, offset them just a hair so that they do go all the way. Yeah, that'll work for me. Pinch and roll my fiber just to get it to kind of stay in shape a little bit with the oils of my fingers. Not a ton, just enough so that when I lay it down, it's not a big fluffy mess. There is some shape to it that I can then whack into something. So let's whack this thing into something. Where'd that needle go? I did. Yeah, it is my unisexy mug. You bet it is. If y'all ever want one of those, if I get enough requests for those, I'll put them back up for like a week, and you can get your unisexy mugs. You can get your fuck up with TK mugs from the old Omnivore show. So I'm just gonna try and get some of this locked in to the felt below it. Let's do a little time all the way up this line. Once I get it anchored most of the way around, then I go in and shape it, push it towards the center, make the line smaller, flatten it out, bring some of it, pull up some of it, bring it down where it needs to be, that kind of stuff. But I want to anchor it in place first, so. Braid right in this needle because I have forgotten exactly how painful it is when you stab yourself with a felting needle. It is enough out of my brain. It has been long enough a period of time that I remember that it hurt a lot, but I don't remember exactly how much it hurt. But once I do stab myself, you'll watch me put this kit away and we'll never go back to needle felting for about a year until I forget again how painful it was. These are serious needles. And I don't know if you see, the idea with these needles is, well, you can barely see it. Let's get it in the center of the, okay, do you see those little dark spots on the flat? These needles are thin and they're flat. And you see those little dark spots, those little imperfections? Those are little tiny barbs. And so when you press this in to the fiber, it grabs some of the hairs, and then on the way out, it crosses them up and tangles them up and entangles them together. And that's how you begin the felting process, and then the rest is just a lot of monotonous tapping and shaping with needles. That's fine. It's one of the more, if you wear protection on your fingers, it's one of the more Zen-like fiber crafts. Let's tack some here in the middle. A little bit. For all of you expecting this to turn out great, you can go home now. that ain't gonna happen. We're trying some stuff out. It all looks crooked right now until I get it tapped in. I actually think I used too much fiber, but that's all right. If you see that, while I'm tapping this in, I'm also taking this needle and pushing it this direction, pushing the rest of the fiber this direction to tighten it up. Make that line a little more narrow. I feel like I got way too much fiber there, so I'm going to pull some off. To work with. I can pull it up. Start taking it down again. This one's a little even, a little more even. Snake. Fiber's gonna get crossed up anyway, so do it. All right, let's start again from over here. It's nice and anchored. Tell people my needle felting is proof I have the patience to sab something hundreds of times. That is a good reminder. It's not magic. Have I seen you in the Boss Kitty chat before? I'm not 100% in there all the time, so some folks do slip past me, but I do not remember It's Not Magic off the top of my head. Rat, we just went over the unsexy one. Oh, that was you. Yeah, so not magic. If we haven't met before, hello. Remember, if you're out there in the world and you run into anyone I know, say excuse me. It's polite. There's going to be so much blood, y'all. This right here is white. There's going to be so much blood on this project. Blood on the Rainbow is what I'm going to title it, and then I'm going to sell it. Where should I sell it? You know what? I should put my bedazzled Craft Daddy hot pants on and sell Blood on the Rainbow as a political statement over the course of Pride weekend. Actually, in Portland, the organizers of the parade and everything moved the parade out a week. And I don't remember their exact reasoning why, but if I can only imagine if I owned an establishment, let's say it's a bar with entertainers and liquor and all of that. And then at the last minute, you told me that my biggest weekend had been moved out a week with very little explanation and no time to cancel performers that had already been paid or any of that. I would be a little miffed. I worked at a radio station in downtown Portland in the late 80s. It was a talk radio station. It was right in the middle of the main street that separated North and South Portland, downtown areas. It was a flat iron building. It had big neon letters for the call sign of the station on the corner. And it was routinely, because it was a talk radio station, routinely a place where we would get bomb threats. Or some drunk in the middle of the afternoon or late in the evening didn't like what somebody on the talk radio was saying, and they, I'm gonna come down and slice you open. Got all sorts of things. Well, the radio station was right next to a drag steakhouse called Flossie's, and the doorman, the bouncers at Flossie's, were both fabulous and frightening, and they would walk us to our cars most nights, which I always thought was really nice. Once we got out of that evening shift, we would have escorts to our vehicles. To go late. It's getting there. How's my felting technique, felters? Anybody? I'm making up my felting technique as I go along. This is might be the third, fourth, or fifth sort of felting project I've ever done, and the largest. So, how's my felting technique? A lot of face palms from the pros. Drag steakhouse dinner and a show. Yeah, for sure. Portland has a Rose Festival. It's in June every year. It's the City of Roses, Portland. They have a Rose Festival with a big carnival midway and rides and everything at the waterfront. They have a couple of parades, one that opens the week's festivities, and then the Rose Parade on the final day to close it all out. But because we are a port city, we also have ships that come in and dock in the port to celebrate, and a lot of military vessels. So we get a lot of sailors in Portland. And there are programs that allow you to open your home to a sailor so that they have a place to sleep that isn't the ship, and they can enjoy spending some time with some locals. It is a huge time for our friends in the gay community, and I don't just mean in terms of, being on the prowl. I mean that a lot of those sailors will find their way down just because of the color that's going on. So you've got the conflagration of the Rose Festival and Pride Weekend, and sometimes overlapping, sometimes being just a week from one another. But it always has been a colorful and joyous month in Portland. So regardless of what you hear about what Portland has turned into, just know we're doing okay. Not great, but doing okay. And we're about to have a fun few weekends. So anybody else have anything like that, like a festival where people come in from either out of town or out of state or whatever, but to celebrate your big festival for your city? And I don't just mean from adjoining towns. I mean the Portland Rose Festival Parade can be watched on television in Texas. Lots of places all over the country you can tune in and watch the Festival of Roses Parade in Portland. Sailors always looking to beat the boredom. That's exactly what I was implying. Yeah, is the gay or straight, they were looking for the most fun happening part of downtown. And for a long time, that was the most welcoming and colorful part of downtown, for sure. They also used to have a program. They still have the program, but they've changed the name. The program that I was telling you about, where you can open your home and an extra bedroom to a sailor who can, you know, stay for the weekend or for the week, however long they're in Portland, and just have a different experience than being on the ship. That program, honest to God, used to be called Dial a Sailor. Gee, I can't imagine why they changed that low those many years ago. It's coming together, guys. I might have pulled off a little too much fiber for this first layer, but we're getting it. It's going to happen. I might even get a bigger felting needle just to see if I can't get some more of this tacked down. Some families coming in from other countries, similar in Germany. Was it a local festival, a regional festival, or event? If y'all noticed, I started adding a song of the day, and I'll tell you why. I wake up 95% of the time, and BK will back me on this. She will tell you that is exactly right. 95% of the time, I wake up singing a song. I just have a song in my head the moment I wake up. And so while we're fixing coffee, we will fire up Spotify and play the song of the day. So today's song of the day, if you didn't see it, and by the way, there will be a Spotify playlist that compiles all of these. So as we go along, we're just going to keep adding whatever the song of the day was. Today's song of the day was I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight by Richard and Linda Thompson. If you're unfamiliar, go check it out. I think the link is in the description or it's in the Discord. If you've never heard it, I want you to tell me what you think. So this playlist is going to be nothing but just the stuff that's in my head. Okay, so I came at this at a wrong angle, and instead of coming at it in this way that I meant to, I started to come straight down, but I did not turn the needle to go straight down. And when I failed to do that, the tip of this needle broke off and flew past my left eyeball and is somewhere in this facility sharper than I want to imagine. So, after the program today, I will be on my hands and knees with a shark vac getting stuff up. Let me find my big needles here. We'll move on to the next thing. It's for Oktoberfest. That sounds great. I have some of our best friends, BK and I, when they got married at 19, then were stationed in Germany and lived there for years, had their children there. Moved back some time ago, but still go back to Germany. Absolutely love it. You can see I sometimes come at an angle to bring those ends in. And when I come at an angle, I want to put my energy at going at an angle. And instead, I put my energy going straight down on the tip of this thing. This bigger needle is very helpful, much better at doing what I want it to do. Catching up on Chad. When I was in Army medic training in San Antonio, a bunch of us would go to the Bonham Exchange. What is the Bonham Exchange, Elizabeth McInnes? Tell me about the Bonham Exchange. It's damn near fully tacked in. I'll just do a little bit more. We'll call it a layer. Not perfect, but doesn't need to be. Just killing some time together. Keeping our hands and minds in optimum performing order. Or, you know, as best we can. Here we go. Indigo, felt it in. What do they say next? What do they want next? Pale blue. All right, pale blue coming up. Boy, I can't wait to find the tip of that needle. I mean, I absolutely can't wait because it's going to be a nightmare if I don't find it. Or if I find it with my foot, that will also be a nightmare. Where Elizabeth McInnes, where I grew up in Japan, just celebrated the Friendship Festival between the Air Force and the civilians. Where's the Air Force Base? That's not Okinawa? Where is the Air Force Base where you were? Hi, Michi. Good to have you here. You get the layers tacked on and then smooth it out. You know what? That's probably the way to do it. Like I said, this is me learning to do something. I'll grab whatever craft's in front of me and give it a try. If I'm good at it, I'm good at it. If I'm not good at it, well, at least I did something with my hands and my brain for a period of time, and I'm all the better for it. Okay, so let's start tacking some of this down. I'll roll this tighter. I am glad I was wearing glasses as well. It didn't hit me, but I felt it. I felt it go past. Take your advice, by the way, and I'm going to go in and tack down all of my layers, and then I'll go in and shape them. Because I think you probably know what you're doing. Change out this needle too, because I think I just broke the tip. I got to learn what I'm doing. That's my problem, is that I think my technique is not strong. Wow. You know, it's like I took my brother-in-law, pardon me, nature's bottle opener. I took my brother-in-law out to play golf, and I taught him. We just took him out, hit some range balls, and I taught him how to swing a club. And he got out there and he goes like this, and I said, "Yeah, you get back there and you turn your wrist, and then you break your wrist as you're coming forward, and you just use that momentum." And he talked about where to stand, how far back from the ball, the whole bit. And I mean, the first swing that he did, he just drove that club straight into the ground, and the head of my driver went sailing about 4 or 5 spots away. So my father-in-law said, "Here, try mine," and we worked a little more on positioning, and he said, "I got it. I figured out what I did wrong, no problem." And he took one more swing and snapped the head off of my father-in-law's driver and sent it sailing in the opposite direction from where he had sent mine. And then he walked away from the game of golf. I share that because I believe that my felting technique is much the same. I have gone through 2 needles in such a short period of time. See if I can pull that off. Okay, it's tacked in now. I'm going to tack it in a little more. some of these spots, and then we can go and start shaping it. Maybe I'm going to do one layer at a time. That's going to be for me. I think the one layer at a time. I'm going to overwhelm myself if I get too much on here. You do needle felting for amigurumi eyes and details. Do you do the felting off of the like here, like I'm doing this, so you would do your felting on your block, make your eyes, and then stick your eyes on your amigurumi and either stitch them in or felt them in to the fiber? Which do you do? This end down enough. My rainbow's gonna be crooked. Jessica, I'm embarking on my first needle felting project currently, trying to mend some moth holes in a family heirloom blanket. That's a very practical application of the skill. Come just fine. No, I usually just felt into the head. I do use the board for ears and such. That makes sense. A little more complex. You're just tacking like little black eyes with maybe a little specular highlights. Well, I'll tell you what, in the Discord right now, there's a CraftHole section. My coffee's getting cold. Let me take a sip. Lukewarm. All right, so let's go. Let's open up. I'm going to open up BK's Discord because I don't have a Discord right here yet, or my Discord logged in. So this is, let me move this thing here. If you go into Boss Kitty Live, see over here, we have a new garden chat section that I opened up for everybody. So we're, oh my God, yes, there's a possum in our yard, in our backyard. His name is Nibbles, and that's what he does. Okay, right here, here's the section. CraftHole, the section, has a general discussion. That's where your notifications and everything. Here's song of the day. Craft ideas. If you have ideas for crafts you would like us to do, or you found a craft kit that you would like us to check out, throw them in here. And then we have one final section, and that is our DIY section. And that is for crafts that you come across that you're like, I can't imagine why anybody would do that. Was there another section we needed? What were we just talking about? Throwing, oh, you know what? Let's go. Let's do that. Let's go to CraftHole, and we're going to create a channel. We're going to call that channel under the CraftHole section. Craft Show. Craft Show. That's what we're going to call it. So Craft Show is now in the CraftHole section right here under DIY. So if we're doing something like needle felting and you're talking about the needle felting that you've done and you have photos, or you can take a quick photo of one of your needle felting projects, it's not like show and tell. But do throw it into Craft Show. And a lot of times we'll take a look at them. We'll throw them up in the show, what we'll talk about. If you are not a member of the Discord, it is !Discord in chat. Come on. Turn off inset. That one right there. All right, let's get this light blue tacked down. And then depending on the time, yeah, let's get this light blue layer tacked down. Then we'll move over to our paint by number. And we'll have this one to come back to. Once again, while I'm doing this, I will tell you about our subscriber giveaway for the month of June, if you are unaware. So, we've just started the month of June. That is today. And throughout the month of June, we will be doing lives, Boss Kitty Live, CraftHole, all of that. And then those immediately become VODs, videos on demand on the channel. So all you have to do to be entered into the June subscriber giveaway is sometime during the month of June, make sure you are subscribed to Boss Kitty Live and that you comment on one of the VODs that we post during the month of June. So any VOD dated for June 2023, subscribe, leave a comment on there, and you will be entered to win the June subscriber giveaway, which will be done on Boss Kitty Live the first week of July. If you want, and only this time, this isn't normal, but if you want to add an additional entry to give yourself a little extra nudge on possibly winning, for this month only, when you make your comment on the Boss Kitty Live VOD, tag another person. Or if you find the Boss Kitty Live promos that we'll post a couple times a week during the month of June, if you find one of those posts on Instagram or Facebook, comment on that post. You still have to comment on a VOD to be eligible, but go over to Instagram or Facebook, comment on that Boss Kitty post about the subscriber giveaway, and tag one of your friends over there. So if you can't tag them on YouTube, tag them on Instagram or tag them on Facebook. So subscribe, comment on a VOD in the month of June, and then tag someone if you want an additional entry on either YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook posts about the giveaway. Now, if you weren't here to find out what the giveaway is, I will tell you. We are giving away one of those brand new blue box sets. By itself, about 150 bucks worth of yarn, right? You can choose between the Enemies and Allies set or the Lords of Time set. However, the reason we're having you tag people is we're about 40 subscribers away from 1,000. If we hit 1,000 in the month of June, and we still have at least 1,000 by the time we do the drawing in the first month of July, then whoever wins the drawing for the subscriber giveaway will win both boxed sets. $300 worth of yarn, 10 skeins, a couple of kitty glitter in there, all super fab, and you'll get all of them. One person will win all of them if we can hit and maintain that 1,000 subscriber level. Well, again, we're only about 40 away, so tag a friend who might be interested. You know, if you tag your friend and they subscribe and they comment on a VOD in the month of June, and maybe they tag another friend, they could possibly win both box sets. Now, here's where it gets clever. If they are a crafter but not necessarily a fiber crafter, they might like CraftHole, and they might also enjoy just hanging out at Boss Kitty Live. However, if they win, maybe they just like to gift that yarn to a friend of theirs who showed them something neat and added a great YouTube channel to their life. You know, maybe they'll just think, wow, that person is important to me because they cared enough to share this with me. Maybe I'm just going to give them all this yarn. Play the game, kids. Just play the game. pretty well tapped. I do not have a pair of scissors, so we're going to try this, see if I can cut off my fiber with this. I highly doubt it, but we're going to give it a shot. Nope, not even close. Not even barely coming up. Just cut a few fibers at a time. Prepared. Now go back in and tack that back down. You've never needle felted. You've never picked up a needle and fiber and felted anything. Because if you haven't, I would like the people who have to describe to you the pain of putting one of these through your finger. Because everybody that has needle felted has done it. Try to repair this. Take a little bit of this light blue fiber. Try to repair my uneven end down here. Expertly done. Look at that, kids. God damn. Shit right there. All right, that's 2 layers. I'm going to put these needles back. Figure out some place to put the broken ones. Shift gears and do a little painting. How's everybody doing this morning, by the way? I mean, everybody having a fair to middling day, as they say. I don't have a container for these broken needles, but I definitely need one. So I'm actually going to add these needles to this bag. No, I can't do that because I don't have anything to cover the tips. Let me just shove these over here for the time being, and then I will come back to them. Do not want to lose that little tip. Okay, your instructions, your needles, all go back in this box. Let me pull this, by the way, up off the block. See, look at that on the back side. What do you do there? Do you just iron that down? Is that, I don't know, needle felters? You tell me. What do I do with that? What's the finished bit of that? Did my music go away? My music probably went away a long time ago. So let's go in here, find that. Scroll down to say here. Fire up some music. All right. Just logged off your work laptop. All right. Got to run to a meeting. Killingsworth it. Enjoy your meeting. Needle felted a little bit. Yes, it hurts so bad, Melanie. So bad. Oh, let's see. My felting block and these needles need to go away. In their proper bag, right there. Forgot to put away my actual fiber in this box. All right, let's shift gears on projects. CraftHole is the land of whips. That's all we are. We're just the land of whips. That used to be a battle between Seattle and San Francisco for the land of whips, but CraftHole. Stick up here so I can keep that in one spot. All right, so if you weren't here for any of our paint by number, hi little Brad, how are you? Wonder where the music went. Yeah. If it's too low, too high, y'all just let me know. I can't really hear it out here. I haven't felt it, but I had gestational diabetes, so I'm good with the finger pokes. All right, that's fair. Okay, so here's what we did with this paint by number kit, which, by the way, if you don't know, if you are unaware, is a paint by number kit of Starry Night. This is the most complex paint by number kit I've ever seen. I don't know if you can see them. There's tiny little numbers and little tiny spaces there. So we're going to, let me make sure this all gets up in the right box. We're going to zhuzh this, and by zhuzhing it, I mean we're going to fuck with it and just, do whatever we feel like. So what we've done is we've taken these three primary colors are like the blues and the whites and everything for the sky, because that's 2/3 of the painting. So there's 2 pots each, so I didn't want to include them in our mucking about. So what I did is I just shifted these 1 over each. So anywhere that says number 1 on this paint by number 1, there's a number 1 right there. That number 1 should be white, but I've shifted them all over 1. So it is now 1, 2, 3. So all those colors are now going to be shifted. We rolled a D20 and a D4 to get a number, and that number came up 10. So we've shifted all these colors 10. So obviously if you get 7, it's now going to be the 7 that was this orange, this burnt orange, is now going to be represented by number 17, which is this cobalt blue. If you got the 13, anything that said 13 that would normally be this deep purple is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This pale kind of flesh tone peach color. So instead of the dark purple, it is this now. So we've shifted everything over. So we're going to come up with some sort of odd cross-processed version of Starry Night. Got our brushes, got our paints, got our paint puck. If you weren't here early, I love my paint puck. We're just going to go to town. We're just going to pick something, pick a number. And that number, I believe, will be today. Let's go with, there's tons of space for number 2, so we're going to go with number 2. And again, that would normally be the light blue. It is now this dark blue-green. That is number 2. So let's get cracking on that. Find a brush that will work for these little spaces. I got little tiny brushes. I think I'm going to go with this one because I got some bigger spaces. So let's just turn up the music a little bit. Chill. Paint. You may start a puzzle. That's the idea. That's the idea. You don't have to do the craft that I'm doing. Just do a craft. Just keep yourself busy. I'm here to keep you busy with me. All right, let's turn up some music and do a little painting. Starts coming together. I can't wait to see what it's going to be. Being on daytime. It's nice. I can keep my tone. Can just sit here quiet. Show will never those 30 people are going to be just chilling, crafting, and that makes me happy. That means I've put something back into the world, and for that. See some of these little tiny lines. And who's done paint by number? Ever before with this? Sorry, here, let me mute my mics while I move this here. Oh, that's a little better. All right, who here's done paint by number before? And probably when you were a kid, right? So, big blocky areas of color and maybe like 7 different paints, and that's about it. This is not that. I was surprised. These were the only paint by number kits I could find. I couldn't find any for kids anymore. Don't paint by number. Surely you. Surely. The glow in the dark painting that you'd put up in your college dorm room. Take mushrooms, stare at under black light, and think, man, I'm as cool as I'm ever going to get. Start a puzzle. Did say at one point CraftHole would probably have some games. I just hadn't decided what they were going to be. I do have a couple of ideas. Two colors together. For some reason, everything starts to slowly come together in your brain. Start to see a painting develop. Came up with a big brown blob. You gave it to your dad, and he has kept it for years because you're supposed to, and it's great, and that makes me so happy. If at any point you can ever get a photograph of it, by all means, post it in the CraftHole section. I'll post it in Craft Show there in the Discord. I think that's great. Two colors to each other that look identical. I don't think it was supposed to be that way. Two. Okay, two. These had to be, so they would have been this color. So I think maybe I painted a section wrong, so I'm going to go back in real quick. See how far off it was. Oh, paint it if I have to. I'd rather be. I think this was supposed to be much lighter, and it just didn't turn out that way. So I'm going to go back over these sections, assuming the number that I mispainted was 1. See, 2 and 3 all around it, so I'm going to go back and repaint some of these. No big deal. Yeah, I should have my Bob Ross things right here on the stream deck. I gave them to BK. She wanted them. Gene on a little something. The next I'm working on for Boss Kitty Live will also come to CraftHole, but I don't know when or how. It's odd because BK on the show the other night asked for feedback on some of the things that you all would like to see moving forward. And the first thing that came up was the very thing that she and I had been talking about for 2 weeks, and that was having guests on the show. Now, because our studio space is what it is, until we move out to the workshop outside, we don't have enough space to have somebody in the studio with us. But we can do guests via Zoom. We're going to do guests via Zoom on Boss Kitty. We'll start with Boss Kitty Live and try to look up some of my favorite artists and crafters and just give them a call. See if we can't have them on here and talk about some of the things that they do. Some of them will be learning. A lot of it will be, why do you do it? What's like to do? Just things, just kind of picking people's brains, other crafters' brains for inspiration, something to maybe you'll find something there that'll inspire you to build a puzzle or paint a cross-processed paint-by-number kit. So glad that those of you who did show up here today and do show up here. Spend the middle of your day with me. I like that. I like that a lot. That is it's a good way to check in during a period of time that you usually don't reserve checking in. You usually reserve it for something else, and maybe that's the time you need it most. Okay. To your day. Everything else would fall into play. Let's see, Eska. I'm gonna do something with you real quick. Eska, just stop where you are. I don't know why you, but I saw 2 or 3 of your comments in the, so your name just came to me. I feel like doing this. So Eska, since I do everything randomly, I want you to just stop for a second. Maybe close your eyes if you want. Think about your life. Just think about what's happening. You don't have to concentrate on anything specifically. Just kind of check in. See how you're feeling. How do I feel right now? How do I feel in general? How have I felt this past week? Am I anxious? Am I uptight? Do I know why? Do I not know why? You don't have to go into the specifics of it. You could say, hey, this is the happiest day of my life. This week has been great. Whatever it is. You can say, hey, I don't remember much this week. It's been pretty neutral. But check in. Figure out what that is. All right? Now that you've figured out what that is, here's what I want you to remember. Detox. Drink a smoothie. Unfriend that asshole. And throw some shit out. Go through your life. Just say, hey, man, I've hung on to this forever and ever and ever, and I'm not going to do anything with it. Let me give it to somebody that might do something with it. I got this sweater that I've held on to for 5 years. It's got holes in the elbows, and I don't think I'll ever get around to patching it up because it doesn't mean that much to me. Get rid of it. You got a human being in your life that demands that you listen to every whine that they have, but absolutely does not have time or does not feel safe for you to do the same. Out. Clean house. Do a little house cleaning. It is spring after all. There you go, Eska. That is your that's your insight for the day. It is that is the dad advice for the day. And what's great about that is I can pretend that that's divination, like I was yanking a tarot deck out, but honestly, it wouldn't matter what card I pulled from that deck. You're gonna find something that rings true, and it's gonna give you a little bounce for the day. It's gonna make you think in a way that you probably weren't thinking. This is me time. CraftHole is me time. Boss Kitty Live, super special. It is certainly a great gathering place for fiber crafters. You learn things, you share things, you work on things together. I think that's fucking awesome. I love Boss Kitty Live. I'm very happy for my part in putting it together. I'm glad that it's out there. CraftHole is just kind of selfish. CraftHole is all about just hey, how am I doing? I need to feel accomplished. I need to feel like I have permission to stop doing the thing that is driving me nuts and just do something for me. That doesn't mean you can't share your crafts, give them away as gifts, whatever. But the act of crafting is more about mental and emotional health than it is about actually making something. Because when you think about finishing a project, you don't think about, oh man, that's the best one of those I've ever built. You think about finishing the project. You think about how good you feel that you crack that thing open and now here it is done. Like, that's the part that sticks with you. We could use some of that time. I'm glad I've got some of that time to spare. Glad you're taking me up on it. Eska, that's actually relevant. We have a ton of stuff from downsizing baby stuff that just needs to get the F out of the house. Well, there you go. Winter's Eve, go back to work. Just take the lessons of the day this morning with you. And on your drive home or drive to the store or wherever you go, I want you to find today's song of the day, which is in the Discord. It is I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight by Richard and Linda Thompson. I want you to listen to it. I think you're going to have a good time with it. It is a lovely song by two British folk rock pioneers. Yeah, can't go wrong with this one. So if you're on Instagram and you didn't get the message yesterday, there is a CraftHole Instagram. It's just started. There's only a couple of posts. We're just, kicking it off and rolling through things. But go to your Instagram application and search CraftHolegram. One word, CraftHolegram. And you will find us. If you have a project that you like to share, you share it on your own Instagram or you share it somewhere else, send it to me. I'd love to post it. I love to post your stuff far more than I love to post mine. Towel. I had a towel on my phone, and now I don't. Do you know what I do have down here? I want BK socks. Hang on a second. There we go. Little footy sock. It's pink, but now it is. Can't do that too. I was gonna rub my paint on it, but I'm not. There we go. Now it's pink with a little tiny bit of blue on it. You have Eska, you have a deconstructed crib sitting in your bedroom right now. Yeah, get it. Just get it done. Just get it done. Rip the Band-Aid off. Pick a day, get it done. When we moved into this house 2 months ago, everything went into the garage and then slowly made its way into the house. The whole reason we got the house was to use the garage as a workshop for Boss Kitty, dye studio, the whole bit. And we can't do that until everything's out of the garage. So this past week, that's what I did. I ripped the Band-Aid off. And I just went to town, moved stuff out into the driveway while I moved things around, built new shelving units, got stuff up off the ground. And now we are about, I'd say, 85% of the way to the new dye studio. And by the way, any of you that bought a box set, one of the blue box sets this past weekend, you helped us do the whole purpose of us putting together these sets every year is that we take the income from them when we purchase equipment. Last year, we actually put the income back into the down payment for this house. This year, the equipment that we're purchasing with the box sets funds is a large cabinet for our dyeing process. And let me tell you how this works. Right now, given all that we have, all of the equipment that we have, we're still limited on a good day. That means getting up early in the morning, starting a dye bath, getting everything in there, getting it soaked, processing it, getting it dyed, getting the dye set, getting it dried, getting it skeined, the whole bit. We could do about 48 or 50 skeins a day. That's it, right? This piece of equipment that we're purchasing will allow us to do just under 200 skeins a day. And that is not automating the dyeing process. It's not changing anything. It's changing our capacity. And you all helped. You all made that possible. The towel's on the back of my chair. Damn it, Bubbles. Where were you? Thank you. Well, now I feel bad about this sock. There you go. If I throw it over there, she'll never find it. And then when she does, I'll tell her she must have done that with the paint. Sorry about that. I just did that again. All right, so this was one. I'll just keep going with number one where I find them. Well, I've already got this open. Find the small areas because I've got a little brush out. It's actually too small. Discord here in just a little bit. I will in Discord post a link for the paint puck. If you do any painting, if you paint miniatures, if you paint anything, if you know, just hand paint, even if you do this stuff, models, all of it, the paint puck is invaluable and inexpensive. So I'll post it in the CraftHole section, a link to it. And if you have the wherewithal to pick one up, I recommend picking one up. I can't lean over sooner because I'm trying to keep my posture. Look at this, I cut off the top of my head. I'm trying to keep my posture. I'm going to be that old man with a hump, and I don't want to be the old man with a hump. Several years ago, right about the time of the recession, 2008, I had been doing a television show. It was syndicated in the Northwest via Comcast. And then they stopped. They stopped syndicating those programs. And all the work that I had done for years and years and years and years and years, not much of it was available to do anymore. So I started, I just said, well, I'm just going to take whatever job I can find for now until I can get in another production house or something like that. So I started delivering beer. So here I was, I think I was 40, and I had been doing production since I was 15, radio and television production since I was 15. Now I'm 40 and I'm working in a warehouse hauling kegs of beer, 40 to 80 kegs of beer a day over a snowy mountain. Thought I was going to die every day. Thought I was going to die. And it was very disconcerting, and things on me started to hurt quite a bit. And so as soon as I could get out of that job and back into production, I went back into production. Production is a lot of sitting like this in a meeting, sitting like this monitoring a shoot, sitting like this in an editing bay, whatever. A lot of production is just sitting like this. And after a while, that's what you become. You become a folded over old git. Try to lean, sitting up. Of course, I've got to keep my goddamn hair. We need an alert. I need an alarm that buzzes in my ear when I lean too far. All right, 2 of these done. I think that's a pretty good day. I appreciate you being with me here on the first couple of these after a huge busy week with Boss Kitty, because I had no opportunity to plan anything. I had no opportunity to create segments for this show or to make it interesting. We're just going to do that as we go along. But I did want to get it on the air and make making sure that I got some of the bugs worked out before I started dropping stuff together. Hopefully, as this next week or so progresses, we will have a lot more fun stuff, but still chill, going on during our time together. Let's see, check the time. 12:30. Let's give ourselves another 20 minutes. How's that sound? We'll go to 1 today. Since we started at 11, we'll go to 1. Yeah. You can't yell at you for not. You know what, Bubbles? You're off the hook. You're off the hook. I can't yell at you for not noticing when I was attempting to fix my hunchback. Let's go to the chill vibes for the workday. That's the whole point. The whole point of this is you just come here and there is no expectation that, I mean, I'm here to entertain you, but ultimately what you're here for, just take a little me time, a little break, listen to an old man. What you're gonna want. Don't forget the day that starts the whole June subscriber giveaway, where we're giving away at least one of the brand new blue box sets of yarn. If we get another 40 subscribers over the month of June to bring us to 1,000, we will then give away both sets of the box set to one lucky winner. That's $300 worth of yarn, all limited edition hand dyed Boss Kitty yarn, celebrating 60 years of Doctor Who. Some pretty damn neat colors. We'll look at them one time before we leave today. In the next 10 minutes or so, we'll take a look at a couple of photos of those box sets, in case you haven't seen them or haven't had an opportunity to get them. And also, again, this month only, if you tag someone in your VOD comment on YouTube or in Boss Kitty post about the giveaway on Instagram or Facebook, if you tag someone, we'll add an additional entry for you for that giveaway. So there you go. A little back scratching, you know. I've gotten requests over the last couple of months. I mentioned it a couple of times about doing a drive along. If you're not aware of what a drive along is, the old Omnivore channel on Twitch, and a lot of times just specifically on Discord, we would get together and I would host a drive along. There are folks all around this country who just put a camera in their car. Some of them are police officers and first responders. Some of them are news stringers. Some of them are just out exploring their city, Los Angeles or San Bernardino or New York or wherever it is. And we just hop on and we roll these up. I've got a whole bunch of them. I switch back and forth between them, and we hang out all night and we explore the country by driving along with folks. We're probably going to do one of those in the next week or so, specifically on the Discord. There's a channel called BKTV, and that channel allows us to live stream directly to the Discord while everybody chats, just like this, but we don't have the concerns of YouTube. So we will do a drive along, and we'll announce it in the Discord beforehand. You're welcome to hop into the Discord and join us. It is a fun time. People just have a really good time. It is chill just like this, only there's a visual component to it that sometimes is exciting, sometimes is just captivating. If you're not a member of the Discord, !Discord in chat will get you there. Alrighty, still looking for these little number ones. The Dobsonian mount for the telescope was finished, and I got an amazing picture of the moon. So, Elizabeth, if that's the picture you posted in Show and Tell last night on last night's Boss Kitty Live, I saw it, and it is amazing. I love it. You could almost taste the green cheese. That's how good that photo was. Is that a thing that people stop telling kids? Don't tell you that the moon is made of cheese. Does anybody know why the moon is reflective? Like why it's so bright in the sky that it seems to give off light instead of just being illuminated by the sun? It seems to glow and give off light. Does anyone know why that is? If a patron wins the giveaway, could they pay to add on the patron-exclusive skein for the corresponding set? Eska? Yes. Yeah. I hadn't really thought about it, but yes, they could. They don't think they say it anymore? Yes. When I was a kid, that was one of our great lies that we told kids. Every generation, every group of generations has great lies that they tell their children. And the moon was made of green cheese was one of ours. All right, so here's why the moon is reflective. The surface of the moon, and I forget what they call the material. It's a coagulated material on the surface of the moon that comes about after millions of impacts with meteors, meteorites, things like that. The moon has no atmosphere, so nothing to burn them up, and they just pelt. And there was a period of time when they just pelted millions and millions and millions of times over on the moon, and it encrusted the moon. That's why you see it kind of crusty and jaggedy on the surface, but it doesn't exactly look like rock. But also, like burning sand, it creates tiny, tiny little glass beads, like super tiny little glass beads. And so they're all in the dirt around the moon. The crust of the moon is just inundated with these little glass beads, and they reflect the sunlight. So that's why the moon seems to cast a light instead of just being something that is illuminated. If anybody can remind me what they call the material that makes up the surface of the moon, I'd like to remember. It's kind of a conglomerated, coagulated material from the heat and pressure of so many meteor strikes. If you have not seen that picture that was posted of the moon last night, I think that Show and Tell channel is still available in the Discord. And go check it out. I think it's great. I'm trying to find out if you can do astrophotography with a Samsung 22 Ultra Plus. That's what I'm looking. I know you can do an extended exposure, but I'm going to have to check it out. Go in there, fiddle around with Pro Mode, and see if I can't get a shot of the Milky Way from somewhere out here outside of Salem. BK and I are enjoying this now, because it's not always going to be this way. In our backyard, We sit out in the garden at night. We have these little solar garden lights and everything. But if you look up in our backyard, there are stars overhead. And we are about a dozen, maybe 14 blocks from downtown, from the Capitol building in Salem. That's how little light pollution, and we're actually in a very light, we're several blocks that direction. It's really super homes next to us, but right several blocks that way is kind of heading towards a hotel and industrial area near, not industrial, hotel and commercial area next to the freeway. So you'd think there'd be a ton of light. We still see lots of stars. As Salem grows, we won't always have that. But we're soaking it in right now. Are there stars where you live? Can you sit in your back or your front yard and see the stars? Or are you boxed in by light? You used your Galaxy S23 for that picture. Just held it up to the lens, Elizabeth? That's fucking awesome. That's awesome. All right, so I'm just going to go out and get a telescope to do it. I was thinking about, the long exposure looks at the stars and the Milky Way galaxy and all that. But if I can use my phone with a telescope to take shots of, say, the rings of Saturn or the moons of Jupiter or whatever's available to me with the telescope, I'd like to do that. Just means spending more money, something that I don't need, just because it makes me happy. Eska, you live in Seattle proper. Well, I was on top of a building in Belltown, and I could see a few stars. If I looked out towards West Seattle, I could see a few stars. Yeah, I can imagine there's probably tons of spots. My cousin used to have a condo on the top of Cherry Hill, on the far side of what that old, I guess, like an old mental hospital that was up there. And that was lovely. She could see some stars from where she was. Not a ton. Time living in Seattle was probably 87, 88, somewhere in there. I was trying to figure out where to go to school because I was still in radio, and you tend to bounce around a lot every couple of years. Is the average. About 18 months to 24 months is the average at any given market. Sometimes you're there for years. You can homestead, as they call it. But that wasn't me. I was a nighttime guy, and I was the guy that got shuffled around a lot. But my time in Seattle was in the late 80s. And I've been many times since. I've been back up to visit friends, just spend the weekend, go to a ball game. I still know my way around. Seattle, for all its changes, downtown really, you still know if you park down by the ballpark, you still know you walk north to get to Belltown, get to the arena, all of those things. Some places you can leave and never forget how to get around it. Other places you can live in for years and leave for a couple of years and come back and go, I don't know where the hell I am. Dallas, when I lived in Dallas, Texas, you could drop me anywhere in the Metroplex between Dallas and Fort Worth. And I could sit in my car and go that way and find my way home like that. Left for a few years, went back, didn't know where anything was. The roads were all the same. The icons had not changed that much, but I just did not remember. Up from down. having a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. This is the month that I have to start designing and building the new Boss Kitty 20-foot booth for the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival this year. We've decided that we are of the size that a 20-foot booth now makes sense for us. And so we secured one. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying. And I have no ideas. We'll figure it out. I remember when I was little, my one goal was to see the Big Dipper, so I would stay up all night to try to see it. I finally met that goal when I think you were 14. Really? Because the Big Dipper's the first thing that I see every night when I look up in the sky. There's a song by a band from Boise, Idaho called Built to Spill. That's the band. The song is called Big Dipper. He talks about, in the first lines, he talks about being a kid and someone trying to point out all the constellations to him. In the opening line, I believe, when I was little, someone pointed out to me some constellations. But the Big Dipper was all I could see. Sometimes that's how I feel. I can pick out the Big Dipper and I can pick out Orion like that, and then the rest of the time I gotta go. Might be Leo. Will that booth making process make an appearance on CraftHole? You know what? I think some of it will. Here's the idea, guys. This studio that we're in right now is temporary, but we don't know how long it is temporary because we are actually converting our double-sized garage into a workshop/studio. So, Boss Kitty yarns will all be processed, dyed, everything in that studio. Will also be a workshop space for other crafts that we do. And then right in the middle of it will be a big workbench, fully lit, microphone, a whole bit, and we will be able to broadcast from that studio. So the eventual goal being dye streams, things like that. Yes. Did you bring me peanut butter, knowing that I'm just going to smack on the show? Can you do me a big favor? Can you heat up my coffee so that I have something to... I'm going to eat some peanut butter because I'm low on protein this morning. I'm going to mute my mic before I do it, and you can just watch me like a Doberman just go at this peanut butter. Smoked over about for one. Oh, yeah, delicious torture. Crochet Hook, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. I hope that you feel better real soon. Eska. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta go back to South Lake Union Transit. It does. The best acronym. Yeah, I like that. And there's better, there may be better, you know, like Dallas was DART, and that was pretty simple, but the South Lake Union Transit Authority, do you want that t-shirt? Huh? It says slut. That's the joke. Bye, BK. All right, last bite of this, and then back to the painting. City of Portland owns an old cable car that has been converted, and now it's drivable. And when you take it out on the street, it doesn't have to run on a track. It's got an auto or like a bus underbelly. And they bring it out occasionally for events where they want to transport people from one section of town to another. Like, hey, ride from the Lloyd Center on the east side of the Willamette River on the trolley, and it will drive you over the bridge and take you downtown. You go to the parade, you know, that kind of thing. They used to bring it out for an event that was actually tied to an electronics and appliance dealer and furniture dealer who was in Portland for generations. His name was Tom Peterson. Tom Peterson's where you could go buy your 19-inch color TV when you were ready for that enormous 19-inch color TV back in the 70s or whenever it was. People bought mattresses from Tom Peterson. Tom Peterson had a crew cut. Always had a crew cut. You could set your watch by Tom Peterson's crew cut. He was the primary sponsor of Portland Wrestling for 40 years. And they used to bring out the trolley, and you could go from the Lloyd Center District or wherever you were, and Tom would lease it for a weekend. And the trolley would make its way around Portland, and if you hopped on that trolley would eventually take you to Tom Peterson's, where he would make you a great deal on whatever it was. And he would also give you a haircut. You could get a Tom Peterson haircut, which was a flat top crew cut. Kids were getting flat top crew cut all summer long at Tom Peterson's. But the event generated a T-shirt. When you ended up at Tom Peterson's, he would give you a T-shirt for anything that you bought. And those T-shirts are highly sought after for Portlanders and very, very rare. And one day I'm in Dallas, Texas, 1,500 miles from Portland, Oregon. I'm walking down the street downtown, and a young man about my age, younger, approaches up the street, and I look at his T-shirt, and he is wearing a Ride Tom's Trolley T-shirt with a big old picture of Tom Peterson on the front of it. He said he got it at some Goodwill or something, but somehow one of those T-shirts made it 1,500 miles to Dallas, Texas, and was being worn by a young hipster. Oh, good on Tom. I love peanut butter, but I can't have it. It's migraine trigger. Oh, Crochet Hook. Can't have big oranges or peanut butter. Two of the great treats. Non-sugary treats. I mean, peanut butter's a little sugary, but two of the great treats, and I'm very, very sorry that you can't eat them. There are things that I think should be delicious and that I desperately want to eat. Like, I want to try asparagus. Everybody's like, oh, asparagus, avocado, all those things. I don't have migraines, but I'm a super taster, which means that a lot of things chock full of vitamin E or D, I can't remember which one it is, I don't taste them properly, and so they taste like dirt. So I try to eat avocado. Every few years I try again. Try to eat asparagus. They taste awful. Awful. And I want desperately to eat them. Because, I love Mexican food. I'd like to try guacamole, something like that, that it didn't just make me feel like I was eating mud. But that's what it makes me feel like I'm eating. There is a section of this painting that does not, I'm sorry, I leaned over it, but I had to double check. There's a section of this painting that does not have a number. I can't even guess what it is because it's surrounded by the other numbers that I thought that it would be. So I have an unidentifiable, I'm just going to leave it for last. This section right here is unidentifiable, no number. You know what's great though, Crochet Hooked, is cashew butter. Jesus, man. All right, cashew hooked. There's a million ways I could say it wrong, and I'm going to say it wrong every single one. Cashew butter is terrific. I wish they made pistachio butter. My God, I'd be all over pistachio butter. Somebody look that up. Tell me if pistachio butter's a thing. Oh, you know what else we're bringing back CraftHole this summer? All you old Boss Kitty folk. We're going to finally do SodaStream. And if you don't know what SodaStream is, it's this plan we had before COVID. And then COVID made it so that we couldn't get our guests here. Pardon me while I get my rag. It made it so we couldn't get our guests on the stream to do it. But SodaStream is, we have a shop in downtown Salem that has hard to find sodas that are regional to other parts of the country, sodas that they still make, but you didn't realize they still made them because you haven't seen them in 40 years. We're going to go and pick 16 of our favorite sodas, and we're just going to sip them during the show. BK will be here. I think David Lamb, maybe we'll get some other guests to try these sodas. And it's just going to be a one-night tournament of sodas until we crown the best oddball soda that we could find. Pineapple Fanta is definitely on that list because, yes, we started out with Pineapple Fanta, didn't we? That was the thing we were desperate to try, and then it just morphed into the soda stream. And that's what we're going to be doing. So that's coming up this summer. Something to look at. Cactus Cooler. Green River Soda, which from Puyallup, Washington. And every time I think of it, I think of the Green River Killer, the serial killer out of Seattle. Which is probably why the soda doesn't sell all that well. If it makes you think of serial killers, it's probably not a big seller on the racks. So I'm working on a different version of Boss Battle. So Boss Battle should be back this year. If you weren't here for the original Boss Battle, over the course of 3 or 4 months, people competed to be an entrant into Boss Battle. We got down to the final 8. And then one Sunday afternoon, a 5-hour, one-shot, all-combat Dungeons & Dragons session was held with 8 competitors until we got down to 1, and they won some huge prize. I don't remember who won or any of that. I just remember it took about 2 hours longer than we assumed that it would take, which was fine. It was a lot of fun. But we're going to do an alternative version of that this year. Make it a little more compact, a little simpler. I think the person that won, it's just an all-combat thing, right? It's a fight to the death between 8 people. And the person that won was the last person we thought. This was an archer who just hid behind a bush, stood up, picked people off, and ended up winning. So that was the winning formula for that one. I'm going to see if I can make that a little more difficult this time around. I think what I'll probably do is leave weapons on the battlefield so you don't come in with weapons. You actually have to go out, grab a weapon, and then start at it. Knitcat, hi, everyone answered your question. Yes, they have pistachio butter. Oh, I'm sorry you don't like it. That's the third thing I've mentioned today where somebody's like, I hate that, or I can't eat that. I feel terrible about that. But more pistachio butter for me. I could sit and crack those damn things open all day long. The one that really got me was espresso beans, those chocolate-coated espresso beans. I'd never had them before. I was over at a friend's house. We were watching movies. There were probably 6 or 7 of us there. I'm sitting on the floor next to the coffee table, and I'm just shoving them in my mouth because they're delicious. At some point, I got up because I had to pee, and damn near went straight back down through the coffee table. So lightheaded, so buzzy. So my life's been trying to recreate lightheaded and buzziness. Thank God for legal weed. Things are starting to take shape here, right? We're starting to see some things merge. I've got to go in and repaint this streaky ass thing here, and I'll do that in a little bit. I do want to put some color here. That means opening up a third color, but I'm going to do it. Funny thing is, the third color that I'm opening up to put in that one spot just to make myself feel good is white. So it's really not going to matter. putting it in anyway. Are there any more of those close by? She was kind words to BK last night in regards to our anniversary and the wedding photos that she posted. Last night marked officially 8 years married, and this October we will start our 14th year together. That's a long time. I mean, it doesn't. In sense, it's not a long time, but it is a long time. And I'll say this before I get out of here today. I asked it for the world. That young, I say young, but in a relative sense, is a miracle. She's wonderfully creative. She's very funny, but you all don't know how compassionate and patient she is. When we met, I was experiencing a medical condition that we could not figure out. But I would end up in the hospital, and they would say, hey, you know, whatever's happening to you is legitimately happening to you, but we cannot find a cause for it. We can't decide why it's happening. We can't even find the source of it. But it's very definitely really happening to you. And she was super patient. She said, hey, you know what? You're safe here. Let's take some time and figure out what it is. And we took some time and figured out what it was and went through a really difficult period where I couldn't work because I just ended up in the hospital. And one day she came at me with dye and some yarn, and I said, you know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that since I can't go out there and work, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to make sure that this works for you as a thank you for being so patient and helping me get where. And then we've helped each other since. We went from, I mean, I'll tell you, her credit was in the low 500s because she'd gotten ripped off by an ex-boyfriend and some other things. Mine was failing because I was in the hospital all the time. I had bills and stuff that I couldn't pay. We had no money. And the two of us together built a business, built a home, eventually bought a home, got ourselves in a place that I never thought I'd be in my life by myself. And here I am with someone else getting to do it. And it's been the greatest experience of my life. And I wouldn't trade her for anybody, for any amount of money. So if you're trying to take BK away from me, we got a tussle ahead of us. So, honey, if you're listening, I know that you're happy anniversary, and all right, it's time to close out. I've done enough painting. I'll do some more painting on my own. Let me get that in the paint puck. Everybody ready? We head back to our room. So come with me. We're gonna do. Let's do 5. Ready? Killing's worth it. You're just in time for a little breathing. Rats just came out of the shower. Had an amazing shower. Thought, how about we call ourselves CraftHoligans? Rat, that is the greatest. And that's what I want. We'll put it up for everybody else. Right now, you're CraftHolers. But if you want to be CraftHoligans, that's what I want. in my heart. So, you know, say yes, I want to be a CraftHole again. All right, here we go. Ready? We're going to breathe. Bang our mic. We're going to recenter ourselves before we head back into the real world. All right? There we go. In for a few seconds. Out slowly through your pursed lips. Here we go. Number 1. Right? As long as you can, not dangerously, but hold as long as you can. Right? Go in as deep as you can go. Fill your lungs. Hold it as long as you can. Slowly out the mouth. Don't make yourself dizzy, but just slow your heart rate down. Here we go. One more. Centered again. We're all ready to go back to whatever it is that we were doing before we started this. We're going to go back at it a little more peaceful place, a little more toned down, a little less anxiousness. This has been your me time for the day. That's all CraftHole is, just me time. I'm doing whatever I want, you do whatever you want, we're hanging out. At least we're creating together, and creating puts something back into the world. So no matter how much you feel frustrated at your job, penned in by family or obligations, whatever, take a little me time, make something. I don't care if it's a kitty cat made out of duct tape ball. Doesn't matter. Make something. Put something back out into the world, and then nothing that restrains you can have all the power. Right? Buddy, I will see you on... If I don't see you this weekend on Discord, we may do a drive along this weekend on Discord, but if I don't see you this weekend on Discord, I will happily see you right back here next Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Boss Kitty Live will be back Monday night, 6:30 p.m. And remember our big subscriber giveaway. So post on this VOD because it's in June. Tag someone else. Make sure that they get here to see what's going on. And maybe win yourself a box set or two. Bye-bye.